All right, so today we're going to be talking about implicit differentiation. It's our first day. It might sound a little scary. It's not terrible. But before we can talk to you about implicit differentiation, it's important to know the difference between explicit and implicit. An explicit form is what we've been doing. We've been working with equations that just have been in explicit form. So when I say that, that means that an equation in explicit form is when the dependent variable is solved for. So basically when your dependent variable is alone. Okay, so our dependent variable in our traditional equation is y equals, and our independent is x squared. So if I looked at this and I said, take the derivative of example number 1, most of you could just go fly through it and tell me dy dx is equal to 2x plus 2. And you're right, but I want to go back to something that we did discuss when we did chain rule with u substitution, is that when you take the derivative of a variable, you always finish by saying the derivative of that variable with respect to the independent variable. So if I looked at this, I told you quick form on day 1 that the notation for the derivative of y becomes dy dx. But the reason why is there's an exponent 1 here, correct? And that 1, when you take the derivative, you know that goes down in front. So then that becomes 1, and then this exponent drops down by 1. So this technically becomes y to the 0 power. And I just took the derivative of the variable y, so I'm going to finish by saying the derivative of that variable y with respect to the independent variable, and in this case that independent variable is x. So I get dy dx equals, well, let's go back. What's y to the 0? Y to the 0, anything to the 0 power is 1. So 1 times 1, well, this just becomes dy dx. And this is what you've been doing all along. And I did explain to you that before once, but I'm just bringing that back because it's really important when we don't have our equations in explicit form. In this problem, it is in explicit form, so we go to y, and it just becomes dy dx. Now, when I take the derivative of this, we know that becomes the 2 goes in front, it drops down by 1, so it's x to the first power, and then I usually move on. But what variable did I just take the derivative of? The derivative of the variable x with respect to x. So technically, the notation there is dx dx. But you probably already say, why would I write that? Because anything divided by itself, well, that just cancels out to 1, so that goes away. And then this just becomes plus 2, the 1 goes in front minus 1, and then the x to the 0 goes away to be 1, but what variable did I just take the derivative of? X, so it's the derivative of x with respect to x. Again, that also crosses out. So I get that dy dx is equal to 2x plus 2, which many of you might have just scratched your head and said, why did I do this? Because this is what's happening every time you take the derivative of any variable. You finish by saying the derivative of that variable with respect to the independent. If they happen to be the same variable, well, then you don't even have to write it. So let's look at here onto this equation, example number 2. If you see this and I'm telling you this equation's in explicit form, well, that makes m the dependent variable. I'm writing dependent there, and that makes c is my independent variable. So here I don't have x and y's, I have m's and c's, and it's always the derivative of the dependent with respect to the independent. So it's going to be dm dc is equal to 2c, technically a dc dc, minus 3 dc dc, and the derivative of 4 goes away. This is not necessary and sometimes can be confusing, but the reason why I'm letting you know is for the teaching point of when you take the derivative, it's always the derivative of that variable with respect to the independent. So in this case, this becomes dm dc is equal to 2c minus 3. Okay? All right, so now we look here, and again, I'm telling you, all of these were under the category of explicit form. So here, I know that my x value is once again the independent variable. That's independent. And u, well, that would make u my dependent variable. So when I take the derivative of u, that just becomes 1 du dx is equal to 10x dx dx plus 3 dx dx. Again, not necessary. Du dx is equal to 10x plus 3. Okay, so that is just taking the derivative as we know it, as we've been doing it in explicit form. But why do we have to talk about implicit form, which is not this case where the dependent variable solve for? The implicit form is an equation is an implicit form when the dependent variable is not solved for. So the dependent variable is not isolated. Now this happens in real life situations. Often they'll give you equations and maybe they'll tell you volume is equal to pi r squared times height. You know that's the volume of a cylinder. And maybe you want to write that equation in terms of h. And then you need to take the derivative for height. Well, it's not in terms, it wasn't isolated. You can go ahead and take the derivative in implicit form, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. So if you're looking here, do you see how the variables are not solved for? And you could say, well, forget that. I'm just going to solve for it. I'm just going to always put it in explicit form. I don't want to learn something new. Well, that's not so easy, because if you see this case, if you tried to put this in explicit form, solving for y being the being the dependent variable, you would have to subtract that x squared. You'd get 9 minus x squared. And then when you square root, how many answers do you get when you square root? 2 plus or minus the square root of 9 minus x squared. That now means that you have to take the derivative of 2 equations. And that gets messy and it gets complicated, and often we lose our answers and get extra roots, or what we call extraneous roots. So let's not go that way. Let's look at this and say, well, how would I take the derivative when it's in implicit form? Well, just like I was saying, you have to decide what's my independent variable. And when x and y is concerned, x is always the independent variable. I would say 99%, unless it's a word problem. Independent, and you would know. So you identify the independent variable. Then my dependent variable is y. So I know it's going to, the dy dx's are going to be what I need. And dx dx I can write, but I don't have to. So here, when I take the derivative of this here, I'm going to get 2x. And technically, I get the derivative of x with respect to x because x is my independent variable. But I'm not going to write it there. Plus, this 2 comes in front, and I drop this by 1, so I get 2y. But here, it's the derivative of y with respect to x equals 9. The derivative of 9, well, 9's a constant, so that just turns into 0. So I just took the derivative, but I didn't solve for the derivative. When I say find the derivative, I'm asking you to find dy dx. That's one way of saying it, correct? So it's there. Now I just need to isolate it. So all I have to do is minus this 2x over, get 2y dy dx is now equal to negative 2x, divide by 2y, and I get dy dx is equal to, I can reduce this, negative x over y. So now remember what the derivative is. It's the slope of the tangent line. And we just learned in our last unit how to write the equation of a tangent line. And we always said, well, the equation of the tangent line requires the slope of the tangent line, which is represented by dy dx, and we would need a point. A lot of times in all the other problems, I just needed the x value of the point to evaluate the slope. Well, here you would need the point, the x and y value, but then you would have to use both x and y value to plug into the slope to find the actual slope at that given point, right? So that's where we're going. And it's common to have x and y's in my derivative in implicit form. So let's try the next one. The next one says find dy dx. And here I go, oh, this is definitely implicit form. I got my x and my y's all mixed together. And now remember, when you have x and y mixed together and nothing is stated otherwise, that will automatically mean that x is your independent variable. So I know that we're going to take the derivative of all the variables with respect to x. So here we go. We take the derivative of this, and this is just a simple polynomial. You will have problems, which you'll see coming up next. The product rule will be used, but I won't do quotient rule today. I really just want to have you try the basic implicit forms before we start getting a little bit more fancy. So let's take the derivative of this. The 3 comes in front. I drop this by 1, so that's 2. But I just took the derivative of y. The biggest mistake is that kids forget to say dy dx. Now I can move on to the next term. I take the derivative of y squared. Well, that 2 comes in front, y dy dx. This y dropped to 1 because you subtract by 1. Here, when you do this term, it's minus 5. The y goes, this 1 goes in front, and when I subtract by 1, I get y to 0. So the y goes away, but you have to finish by saying dy dx because you just took the derivative of y. Minus, this 2 comes in front. I get x to the first power, and technically you get the derivative of x with respect to x. And then finally equals the derivative of negative 4 is 0. So now I look and I go, all right, this one I don't need there. That dx can go away. So I'm looking at this and I need to solve dy dx. My issue here is I got 1, 2, 3 dy dx's. Well, that's okay. We've had that before where we have multiple variables of what I want. I'm going to isolate that variable. Everything that has dy dx is going to stay on one side of the paper. This 2x, that needs to move over. So then I just go ahead and rewrite 3y squared dy dx plus 2y dy dx minus 5 dy dx is equal to, now when I went ahead and added that 2x over, I get that this equals 2x. So now I'm looking at this and I go, all right, I have all the terms that have dy dx. I just want one dy dx. Well, I can GCF the dy dx out. And if I GCF the dy dx out, I'm dividing it out. That comes in front. And I'm left with 3y squared plus 2y minus 5 equals 2x. So there's my dy dx out here. I want to get dy dx by itself. This whole parentheses is being multiplied to that. So I'm just going to divide this whole polynomial over to the other side. And now I get dy dx is equal to 2x over 3y squared plus 2y minus 5. And that's your answer. You just went ahead and you solved for the derivative. All right, the next one, I'm thinking we're going to get cut off, so I'm going to pause this right now, right now as I'm looking at the time, and I'm going to do the last one with you on my second video.